Avram, my favorite topics for this segment are when you've got something to show off. And I know you've got stuff to show.
All right. Well, let's talk. So, June 18th, Copilot Plus PCs came out. Do you know what a Copilot Plus PC is?
It's got a bonus button.
Oh, it's got more than a button. So, in front of me here is the new Surface Pro, and this is one of maybe, I don't know, a dozen new PCs that have come out in the last few weeks that use Qualcomm Snapdragon X processors, and they run Windows. So this is not the first time or the second time. It's like, I think, the fourth time that we have seen an effort to make a Snapdragon uh, to make Windows on ARM work well and sell well. And is around part of that effort is around trying to not just make a window most apps work, most apps compatible, but it's also an effort to give some special features to folks. So if I log in here, uh, could not recognize my face, I guess because I wasn't looking right at it or I didn't have these headphones on when I did it. So one thing to show here is so this comes with a few special features, few Windows features. All the Copilot Plus PCs all have Qualcomm processors. That's what they makes them Copilot Plus. They have a Copilot key, no big deal. So does everything. So do all the new laptops. And they have three exclusive features that you cannot get on Windows if you have an Intel or AMD processor. However, I don't think these are very impressive. Now, there were supposed to be four exclusive features. The first one was recall. Do you remember recall? Do you recall it?
Well, if you've seen any of the Microsoft ads in the last couple of days, they have been advertising recall with uh, no little disclaimer that says it is delayed indefinitely.
Yeah. Uh,
That's the
so,
constantly spying on you feature, right?
yeah. So, so one thing is it. So they had to make that temporarily go away. Whether it's coming back or not, I don't know. Although we reported on Friday, this is kind of interesting. Microsoft is still running ads for recall on uh, Facebook and X. It's running video ads saying, like, here's your digital perfect memory. And it doesn't
Yeah.
say coming soon either.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't say
So,
delayed indefinitely. It's fascinating.
yeah, it doesn't say. So, yeah, I think one hand is not talking to the other hand. But maybe they also realize that recall is the only one of these features that actually stands out. You could say that it's a bad idea, but at least it's an idea. Now, here's what the other exclusive features are. One of them is Co-Designer. Let me show you what Co-Designer is. So, Co-Designer is in Microsoft Paint because that's where we look for all of our key features. Co-Creator. I'm sorry, not Co-Designer. So, I don't know why there's noise here. So if you see over here on the side, ooh, I got to move it aside a little bit. Uh, the so if you look there, it says co-creator, um, and if you and if you and if you and if you tap on it, right, it then gives you this menu, and it touts that if you draw something, it'll help you with your drawing, but it doesn't really help you, right? What it does is if you draw, you have to draw something, but it could be a line, right? Draw a line. and then you have a prompt here. And what would you like it to prompt it for, Scott?
I don't know. You put me on the spot.
Okay, what I always prompt it for, this is my demo prompt, is cat driving a car.
All right. So Tune says, got it.
Yes, exactly. Toonses. That's my Toonses is my prompt. So you can see it's sort of going and going. Maybe it's finished now. It's really very stark white on this white background, and there's no car. Here, can you see even? It's a little bit.
We have the widget menu now.
Like the widget menu popped up. Okay, it's very annoying. So if we full screen it here, you can see the co-creator cat. It's just that's all you get. So that took like, I don't know, 8 to 10 seconds to draw. It's not exactly what I asked for, and everything looks kind of like that. It's like a watercolor type of drawing on a stark white background. Now, one thing to note about this co-creator is that it doesn't work offline. Now, you might be thinking, wait a sec, isn't that the whole point of these systems, is that they don't require an internet connection to do generative AI?
That was my first thought.
It is apparently using the NPU to do this work, and I don't think that this makes any sense. So, Bear, you tell me whether you think this is a reasonable excuse. Microsoft or Qualcomm, we asked Qualcomm, and Qualcomm said the reason that it will not work offline is because it has to check your prompt to make sure that you're not asking for bad stuff, that you're not asking for, adult content or racist content or whatever you want. Except I don't really buy that, because couldn't they have those guardrails built on locally?
Of course.
And also, I won't show you here, but the guardrails don't work so well. Like it was more than willing to like draw a concentration camp for me, for example. So,
oh my.
I mean, it wouldn't. There's things it wouldn't draw, but there's definitely a lot of things that it would draw. So then also there's another button right here called Image Creator that sits right next to it. And guess what? It does the same thing, except you don't have to draw a line. You could just enter your prompt. And I'm going to show you that the cat driving a car looks a lot better. And wait, there's more. This other feature is in every version of Windows 11. So, I mean, so you don't need this. Sorry, somebody seems to keep calling me. Go away. There's nobody. All right. So anyway, if I do, so I'm going into this image creator, right? And I'm doing the same prompt, and I'm going to show you what happens. Oh, you know what? I'm out of tokens. So there is a limited number of tokens for some reason that you get, and for some reason the tokens on this account are used up. So I can't do it, but it's photorealistic cat driving a car, and it spits it out in the same like 10 seconds. But there is a limit to I think, and I'm not sure whether it resets periodically, but that feature, Image Creator, which works better, is not an exclusive feature. So 2 more exclusive features to talk about now. The other exclusive feature, so we talked about Co-Designer, and I'm sure you were very impressed. Then there is also live captions with translation. Now, for those who don't know, Windows 11 already has live captions for everyone. And that means that if you are using a streaming service that does not have using a streaming service does not already have captions in it, Windows will put up a caption box for you if you want. And with Copilot Plus PCs, they also can translate that into another language. So that is the catch. That is the benefit. However, they do a terrible job. I was trying to watch a video on Bilibili, which is Chinese YouTube like channel, and the translation was totally off. So that's terrible. Would that be a selling point for you, Scott?
No. A
Okay.
terrible universal translator? No.
But even let's say it worked properly. Like how many times do you need that and not have it from the service that you're already using?
Yeah, true enough.
Like most services already have some type of translation in them if you need it, and already have captions when you need it. Finally, the last piece is studio effects. So what does studio effects do? This will be tough to show on camera, but I'll do my best to I'll do my best. So what studio effects is it is wait, now is that all right, but that's not telling me. Studio effects is a series of, it also should be here in the okay. So if you can see here, there's like this list of effects here. It's background blur, which you get a choice of two different kinds of background blur, and then creative filters. And like the creative filters can sort of make you look rotoscoped a little bit. And that runs locally. But here's my question to you. First of all, the rotoscope features, who cares? Does anybody use those? And background blur, which a lot of people do use, is built into pretty much every chat program that there is already. So did you really need that? I don't think so. So those are the exclusive features. I don't think they're a selling point at all. But what could be a selling point is these are offering decent performance. They're about on par with an Intel Core Ultra 7. They are better at some things, although not everything. I mean, I think like on Handbrake, they were about a minute faster than the Core Ultra processor. And they are, and they have good battery life. But even the good battery life is not so good that it will blow you away. This system right here, which is I think it's got like a 52 watt hour battery, gets 12 hours and 10 minutes on our test. That's good, but it's not record setting. We've seen many Intel systems get over 12 hours. This 15-inch 15-inch Surface laptop here with the Snapdragon X Elite processor gets about 15 hours of battery life. And we've seen others that got about 16 hours. So you're getting maybe on a laptop with a reasonable size battery of like 57 to 60 watt hours, you're getting maybe 15, 16 hours of battery life on our test, which is continuous surfing over Wi-Fi at 150 nits. So now what? There are, that's better than most Intel laptops get. There have been very few that get up into that 14, 15 hour range. Asus did have a ZenBook a few months ago that hit about 15 hours with an Intel Core Ultra 7 processor, but with a larger battery. So it is good battery life, but I think maybe you're getting at best, 2 to 3 hours better, which is nice, but I wouldn't say it's groundbreaking. It's not better battery life than MacBooks. MacBooks are up there getting like 17 hours, although they have bigger batteries as well. So I don't know. I think this is a good technical achievement in the sense that these have pretty good compatibility with Intel, with x86 software, although there have been games that don't run, and there's still a lot that needs to happen to improve compatibility, but most things run reasonably well. So what's but they're not cheap. None of them is cheap. Uh, the cheapest one you can get, the cheapest Copilot Plus PC of any brand, is I think the 13-inch entry level Microsoft uh, Surface laptop, and and it and the 999 version gives you 256 gig SSD, which is unacceptable. So expect to spend at least $1,100, $1,200 uh, or more on one of these laptops. So you're not getting a big bargain for going with the Snapdragon processor. So, meanwhile, Intel and AMD are going to have new processors coming out soon that have much better neural NPUs, neural processing units in them that will be competitive with the NPU in this thing. So I'm not sold that you need to buy one of these, but it is a nice step forward technically for Windows on R.
Which, of course, is it's a good thing, right? Sometimes we have to have products that may not necessarily matter in the short term to push the overall technology in the long term, right? It's when the Windows on ARM first came out, I remember your frustration level being pretty high with how little they were able to do and how long it took to accomplish that nothing. So I have distinct memories of you
Yeah,
growling at a laptop that you were showing. You're like, so to hear
yeah,
you say that it's
yeah.
come
I
a
mean,
long way is a great sign.
it is. It's a good sign. It's come a long way, but let's consider this. Um, it's still a gamble. You're not
Sure.
getting a discount for taking this gamble. So, and you're getting a little bit more battery life, but not an epic amount more battery life. So my 2 cents on this is, if you really like the individual laptop, like you look at this Surface Pro and you're like, wow, that thing looks really nice in the blue metal, and I really like the way the look and feel of it. And you could consider getting it and not let the processor be a total con, to stop be a blocker for you. But but I wouldn't buy one because it had the Snapdragon processor. It just doesn't. We're not. There's not a lot of workloads that it really benefits right now. Perhaps more in the future. But then if you need a new laptop and you can wait a few months, well, we're going to be seeing new AMD laptops with faster NPUs within a month, and we're going to be seeing new Intel laptops with NPUs within probably 3 months. So that's that's the story. But it's an interesting time. I think it will be more interesting when you looking down the road a year or two, if Microsoft lets the exclusivity agreement with Qualcomm expire, and then you can see laptops powered by different ARM CPUs that might be a lot cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think there's a lot of room to grow at the low end of the market, and that is not being talked about at all, right? I mean, we used to get sales data, which unfortunately can't get access to anymore, for what the average laptop selling price was, and almost every quarter for years, the average laptop selling price was between $490 and $520.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no answer for people who want to spend less than $1,000 with these chips.
Yeah, and that's definitely unfortunate. I'm sitting here on the configurator, and hey Microsoft, once again, why can I not get the 15-inch in blue? Just
Right.
mm.
Yeah.
It's always my contention with them. The full size ones only come in black and gray. I can't get the blue or the dune, sapphire or dune. Is what they call the like
Right.
copper looking one. You can't get that in the big one. Anyway,
Right.
that annoys me, but that's a whole different issue. Well,
Yeah.
I imagine you've got a lot more information on this.
Yep. Yep. So indeed, we do have more information on this. My concentration really has been writing about the performance
Mm-hmm.
rather than we've got like 5 of these laptops lying around and we haven't done an individual review for any of them yet because like I'm more interested in trying to sort of pick apart things like the battery life. And the one thing I won't belabor our time here about is I've had a really rough time getting local AI workloads to run on these because Qualcomm's developer center is really not up to date. I mean, they're working on it, and I've actually talked on a call with some of their Qualcomm's developers, but they have what's called an AI hub for developers, and then most of the stuff there that's in the AI hub can only run as an example, and you can't actually program with it.
Hmm.
And the reason why this matters for my testing is I want to write a Python script that does the same thing on an Intel powered laptop
Mm-hmm.
as a Qualcomm one. And so I've managed with some help to have two instances, two working models. One which is Whisper, the transcription model, I can have running on both, and Stable Diffusion image generation I can have running on both. But I cannot figure out how to do any others. And those are the things that actually, in my opinion, should matter because
Okay.
granted, not a lot of people are sitting there using Python scripts, but the point is you want to know how is one of these actually better, is Qualcomm actually faster than Intel's current generation Meteor Lake, which has a slower NPU. Does it actually take a lot less time to transcribe something? Does it actually take a lot less time to generate an image? Would it take a lot less time to do image recognition or facial recognition? Like, how is it faster? How much
Right.
faster? So that's what I'm trying to find out and to do it on repeatable local tests because these little cutesy features that Windows has, first of all, they're not really benchmarkable because they're just cutesy and there's not really something to time. But second of all, you can't even use them on Intel machines, so you can't do an apples to apples comparison.
Right.
So that's kind of the subject of a lot of annoyance and work on my part the last couple of weeks.
Fair enough. Well, I know. I know as you get this stuff figured out, you'll bring a lot more content, uh, as you always do. That's you. You like to do these deep dives and bring us lots of information, especially on interesting new technology like this.
Yep.
Well, Avram, definitely appreciate it because this was a topic I was not able to follow very closely over the last couple of weeks. So I definitely appreciate the dive into this hardware. And as always, I look forward to what we talk about next time.